Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Keeping Up with Senior Solutions. As you can see today, I am without my co-host, Jim Collins. So I'm going to miss him, but evidently he is in Maine on vacation. So we cannot begrudge that to him. He really deserves it, and he'll be able to watch us once this goes live on the station. So today we have a very special guest, and that is Wendi Germain. Hi, Wendi. She is our nutrition and wellness director, and she oversees quite a few wellness and nutrition programs for Senior Solutions. So let's jump in, Wendi. I know you're anxious to get started, right? You can tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, if you'd like, and then we'll go in and start maybe with like the Meals on Wheels and other nutrition programs that you have been overseeing.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So I am Wendi Germain, previously Wendi Lajoie, for those of you who may have known me in that life. I was born in Springfield, raised in Springfield, and I've never lived more than 9 miles from where I was born.
Wow.
So I love to travel, but I also love my community, and I'm really happy that I usually know people when I'm walking down the street. So I just love it here. I am relatively new to Senior Solutions. I've been here about 2 years. I started as a case manager and then transitioned over to nutrition and wellness, coming out of a 17-year career of a restorative justice director and practitioner, working a lot with the Department of Corrections. Loved that job and love this job, and happy to be in a job where I'm so close to home. I live in Chester now with my husband, Mark, and my corgi, Tegan, who's right at my feet.
Well, great. And we love having you with us. So I think you're a great addition to the staff here, and you've so far so good. You've done a wonderful job, and would love to share with the public some of the wonderful programs that you have been making sure are working effectively, and tell us a little bit about how they are run, what they do, and what you see for the future in these programs, if you don't mind.
No,
Would you like to start with anyone in particular, or you want me to just grab one and go for it?
Let's start with Meals on Wheels, because that tends to be the one that folks are most familiar with. So
Good idea.
it's a good starting point. Yeah, so I remember interviewing for this position and telling the story about how Meals on Wheels volunteer saved my grandma Dressel's life. She had fallen, and the Meals on Wheels driver was the person that found her. So quite literally saved her life. And Grandma Lajoie also got Meals on Wheels and saved her life because she was able to stay at home where she was happy. And her family knew that she was being checked on, that, you know, she had a friend stopping by every day, that she was getting a healthy meal. So how cool is it for me to have a job that resonates so much with me? And it just makes me more passionate about it, and, you know, wanting others to have that same security and experience. So
right. Yeah, you can identify and really appreciate what Meals on Wheels can do. That's very important. Yeah.
And, you know, I came into this position about 2 months before COVID started. So I kind of don't know this job without COVID. So, but the volunteers are what makes it happen, you know, and how they stepped up during COVID. And even though, you know, some of the sites, the meal sites that prepare the meals, some of them were like, you know, you're in this age bracket that's, you know, at high risk, and maybe you should take some time off from delivering meals until this COVID thing passes. And people were like, absolutely not. And they continued. I mean, they had all the precautions, they did everything they needed to do, but they were not going to stop. that committed. And, you know,
It's wonderful.
that's
Yeah,
what,
that's really impressive. And it really does go to show the spirit and the character of so many of our volunteers.
it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing. I hope that the volunteers get as much out of it as, you know, our meal recipients do. I know they love, I get to see the surveys that come in
yeah,
from the recipients, and they just love, they love their volunteers. It's like their family, you know, it's,
that's right. And how many times is it, especially in the winter, that the Meals on Wheels delivery volunteers are pretty much the only human being that some of these folks get to interact with?
yeah.
So they have, they deliver food, they also deliver connectivity.
Mhm.
And that's so important. So we can't thank them enough,
No,
obviously. Yeah. Well, let me ask you another question. With the Meals on Wheels, it's sort of connected with our congregate meal sites, isn't it? And now that COVID, we're always in flux in this year. Sometimes we can open, sometimes we can't. What's the situation to the best of your knowledge?
so the majority of the congregate sites are open. And so I often refer to them as kind of like the big sites and then the individual sites. So we have 36 meal sites altogether in Windsor and Windham counties. And the big ones are the ones that operate at least 3-4 times per week. So those big ones, the majority of them are open. We've seen, you know, a huge decrease in participation. A lot of the congregate, the people who would come to congregate meals were able to go on to the Meals on Wheels program during COVID. So, and they're still there for now. So we hope that'll come back up, but I'm sure it will. I think this has
Yes,
given us,
the good news is the sites have been very flexible.
yeah,
And, so everybody's trying so hard to work with, their resources and availability, because sometimes the workers can't come to
yeah,
even help prepare the meals and serve them. So
yeah.
luckily, these people are such wonderful volunteers. You just have to wonder, how do they do it? But yeah, they're so flexible, and if they can, they're open. And do any of them still require that you call ahead to make a reservation?
Yeah, they're not necessarily requiring it, but it's a really good idea.
Okay.
You know, they're still practicing the, you know, social distancing, so they
Mhm.
are limited to the amount of people they can fit at their meal
Well,
site.
and
So
I
it's good.
think that's important, because it also gives assurance to the people who want to come to the congregate meals that it's being operated safely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So-
So, and then we have kind of the ones that I call the smaller sites, and smaller because they may only do 1 or 2 meals a month. And those are more like the ones that are run by church groups or cares groups. And a lot of them have not reopened for congregate. Some of them never stopped. They just switched to Meals on Wheels, which
Mhm.
meant recruiting drivers, finding
Yeah.
out where people lived, creating routes, figuring out
Yeah.
how to package the meals. Like, just the flexibility, like you said, has been incredible.
I give them kudos.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You know, our region, Windsor, Windham counties, during COVID, they were doing between 20 and 23,000 meals a month. It's
Wow.
crazy. It's,
Wow.
and they
That's
do it,
huge.
yeah, during a pandemic, you
Oh,
know, just, it's amazing to me.
yes, it is. Yes, it
And
is.
and
Well,
the meal sites, you know, the like senior centers and the folks that do a lot of the meal prep, you know, they changed the rules for Meals on Wheels and said anybody can get on Meals on Wheels. If you're over 60 and you're choosing to isolate, you can get Meals on Wheels.
oh yeah,
And
right.
when that happened, I thought the meal sites were going to be like, oh my God, we can't do this. Absolutely not. They were just picked it up and went with it. It's just It's been amazing.
It's like nothing phases them.
I know, right? Right.
They just can't stop themselves from preparing food and serving it.
I know. And you know, we receive funding through the Older Americans Act to
Mm,
pay for these meals, but the way it's set up, these sites only get reimbursed for about half of the meal.
yeah,
So, and it's intentionally that way, but that's why they rely so much on, you know, community fundraising,
mhm,
donations for the meal, the town, the special appropriations from the
right.
towns. That's the only way they can make the whole thing happen is,
That is a wonderful point that we should let everybody know, because, in March with the town vote and everything, when your local, senior center or a community group that provide Meals on Wheels put in for town appropriation, that is nothing that competes with when we are asking for money from the town, because we don't use any town funding to pay for Meals on Wheels. That is just money that we get through the Older Americans Act, through the state, so that we can help to support these places. We can't give them enough money through that funding source to pay for the entire cost of preparation. So the Meals on Wheels programs need to ask for funding from people, towns, organizations to help, because there's a lot of need and not a lot of money out there.
Mhm.
So please, when you're voting at town vote yes for all your Meals on Wheels people, and vote yes for Senior Solutions, because we're not competing. We're not taking any money away from Meals on Wheels. We just want to help.
right.
So, and they do a great job.
And it's not like they can cheap out on meals. They can't
No.
serve like pasta and rice every day just because it's expensive. These meals have to meet a certain nutrition standard, and you know, we are obligated to make sure that they do that. So they're quality meals. So, you know, they are more expensive that way. So yeah.
That's right. And it's not money that's wasted. That's for sure.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah. Well, now that we're talking about getting some of our population well fed, let's talk about 3 squares.
Mm.
That goes right along with it on a different plateau.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about 3 squares?
Yeah. So 3 squares is kind of phenomenal, especially in our state. We run things a little bit different than other states do.
Hmm.
But people in this state, people in general, don't want to ask for help. And you know, this is a program where the money is there. Whatever is needed for money for 3 squares is there. It's not like if you get it, your neighbor won't. So many people just don't want to ask for that help.
Right.
And we go out. We have this great guy. His name is Tom. He is really in charge of outreach for the 3 Squares grant. And you know, Tom's a great guy.
Yeah.
He calls himself a homesteader. You know, he's a farmer. He's a traditional Vermonter, and he loves people. And his passion is making sure everybody has enough food. And so he is just out there like telling people how great this program is. And it's so you can get it in 2 ways. So there's an application, of course, right?
Mhm.
That we can help with at Senior Solutions. They can call our helpline. Will that number be up on the screen anywhere, or will we
Yeah, it usually is.
give
But
them the
let's tell the
helpline?
people what that number is. Shall I do
I
it?
can never remember it, so
That's
please.
all right. I've been here 2 years longer than you. Now
Yeah.
I'm having trouble with the new toll-free number.
Oh,
But our regular helpline number that comes directly into our office is 802-885-2669. And our helpline operators are there basically 8:30 to 4, Monday through Friday. And if you call after hours, you will get, I think, our live answering service, and they will forward that over to the helpline. And generally speaking, unless it's, they're really slammed, if you call in and leave a message, they'll get back to you within 48 hours of work days. Obviously, if you call Friday night, they'll call you probably Tuesday or Wednesday, but otherwise you get a pretty quick response. And, just tell them what you want. If you don't know what you want, just say you need some help and could somebody call you?
Yeah.
Because many times, like you're saying, Wendy, our older population, they're very proud, they're very private, and we totally respect that. But that also means they're not used to seeing themselves as those who need help. They're the helpers,
right? I mean, like,
these are the people that took care of all of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're always looking out for the young couple down the road, or the little kids that they look after, or whatever. So sometimes they don't even know what they're eligible for, or that it's okay to get some help. Because I always say this, these are the people who built our schools, volunteered in our communities, did so much, had businesses, or worked a small farm. Whatever they did, they were part of the community that made Vermont grow. Now that they're maybe a little disabled, or can't see so well, or can't get out, or maybe they're not well, how do we repay them? This is not charity. This is special money that the federal government has set aside, because they realize that as you age, say you're 80 or 85 years old, you retired probably 20 some years ago. That resource has dwindled, and it doesn't meet the costs that we have to face today.
Exactly.
So the government, in recognition for that, has set aside special money for older Americans. And if you don't ask for it, the young couple down the road can't get it. You're not eligible. So either we use it or lose it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I get on a tangent and I can't stop.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So all you have to do is call that helpline and say, I need help applying for that 3 squares thing. And we'll get you in touch with the right people. And you can get it, the benefit, in 2 different ways. You can get it as cash. If you're on Social Security, you can get it as cash deposited right into your bank account. So when you go to the grocery store, you just use your regular bank card, or you withdraw cash, or whatever you want to do to spend that. Or you can get it on like its own little debit card. They call it an EBT card. And you just, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to pay, you put that in first, into the machine first. And any food that qualifies for 3 squares, which is food that is non-taxable, qualifies for 3 squares, that will come off your bill first. And then whatever you purchase that's taxable will come off your regular way of paying, whether it's cash or a credit card. So,
Right.
So it's definitely better to choose the option to have the money put into your bank account, because then you can use that money to buy toilet paper and paper towels and that stuff that's taxable.
Yeah, it's less complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for me, that would be the big benefit. It's less complicated.
Yeah. And speaking of complicated, some people are intimidated by the application process. And that's why we say, call us. We do tons of these applications. We know how to do it. We know how to do it fast. We know exactly what the state is going to ask for. So we can get it all done for you. And it's our
Right.
job. So we want to do that.
Yeah, please let us do our jobs.
Exactly.
Well, isn't the applications a little more simple now?
It is. And so there's 2 applications now. There's a longer one. There's a shorter one that you can use. It's only 4 pages, wicked quick. We can do it in like 15 minutes. And that one's available to people who only have income from Social Security.
Okay.
If you have income from, another job or something,
Sure.
we do the longer one. Takes us a little bit longer, but it's the same end result for you. So,
But that's really a nice accommodation for people that only have one stream of revenue. And if you're only on Social Security, why would you have to go through a whole complicated application, most of which the questions probably wouldn't pertain to you?
Right.
So this is a nice 2-level way of applying. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
And even
Hey.
on the long application, there's a lot of things that don't pertain to, you know, the people that would be calling us, which are people 60 or over.
Mhm.
And we know that too. So we can go through the application ahead of time, you know,
Right.
put X's and all the stuff that you don't need to. So that helps save some time too.
I think that's great. And not only that, but a lot of times if you get an application in the mail, I don't know, if you need help or you're older and you may not be that mobile, maybe you don't get your mail every day.
Yeah.
Some people have a pretty long walk down to the mailbox.
Yeah.
And then when they get home, they probably sit it on the counter and go, yeah, I'll look at it later. When does that ever, when does later ever happen?
Right.
So the fact that if we talk to you and we know that you've received your application, we can walk you through it, and you don't have to sit there and wonder, oh, I don't want to open this, I'm never going to understand it. You know how people get intimidated. I do too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So this way, you let us worry about everything. Just give us a call. That's all. Right?
And yeah, and another benefit to the short one is it's good for 3 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they do it through us, we get to remind them when they need to reapply.
Yep, we'll get the notice, so they don't
Yeah.
have to worry about, oh, is it going to run out? We'll call you and say, did you get your renewal done? Are you okay? Yeah. And the same application gets you applied for fuel assistance.
I love it.
So
I love it.
whether you get oil or gas or electric, even wood in some cases,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can get a benefit towards that. So, and we just do that automatically. If you apply for 3 squares, we automatically check a little box that says, by the way, check to see if I'm eligible for fuel
Yeah,
assistance.
why not? It doesn't hurt.
Nope.
If you don't ask, you don't find out.
Right.
And we want all the people in Vermont to be educated consumers.
And warm.
Well, that too. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I just want to thank Coda and Coda for including our helpline number in the invoices they had sent out to all of their customers throughout Windsor and Windham County, because for fuel assistance.
Mhm.
So if you're a Coda and Coda customer and you're having trouble and you don't remember our helpline number, you can check their last month's invoice.
Yeah.
So again, our helpline number is 802-885-2669. And Wendi is not answering the phone when you call the helpline, but she's right there in her office working for you every day. Oh, except for today, she's painting pumpkins.
Yeah. And I might be answering some phone calls coming up because it's open enrollment. So,
oh, yes.
So our helpline is going to be busy. So one thing I can do to help them is help with these applications.
Oh, terrific. That's so reassuring to everybody. Thank you, Wendi. I think there's other things that I know we need to cover. How about some of the exercise, like the Tai Chi, matter of balance things?
Yeah. So Tai Chi has become amazingly popular. It really blows my mind how popular it is. So it's for those of you who don't know, it's a slow movement exercise, but it's like mind, body, and spirit. And it really, we really teach it around helping people to prevent falls. We don't want you to fall down. So it's this amazing way to strengthen your entire body. And some people think that it looks too wimpy and too easy. I don't really want to do that. But let me tell you, you watch somebody do it and it just looks so graceful and fluid. But when you're holding those poses and you're doing those movements repeatedly, it is an amazing workout. And there's ways to start easy, and as you learn it and become more comfortable, to make it more challenging for you. So even a
Wow.
beginner class, you're still going to get something out of it.
Sure.
It's amazing. And all of the Tai Chi classes, all of the exercise classes we offer are free to people over 60.
That's great.
I like to say 60 and better, not 60 and over. 60 and better.
Well, especially if you do Tai Chi, you're going to get
Yeah,
better and better.
yeah. So we just started recruiting for Tai Chi instructors. So all of our instructors are certified through Tai Chi Vermont. They become actual certified Tai Chi instructors. They can do 3 different levels. We just did some publicity to recruit folks to be teachers, and we received over 20 inquiries from people who wanted to be teachers, which is
Yay.
amazing. So watch for these new classes starting. They'll be starting, the training is in the very beginning of November. So there will be a bunch more Tai Chi classes starting all over Windsor and Windham County after the first of the year. So we'll make sure to advertise those and get the word out.
Great. So I guess that the current training classes are full.
Yes, the training is, but
Like train the trainers. Yeah.
But the classes in the communities are not full. And if you're a beginner and you want to join a beginner class, you can join it at any time. So you don't have
Nice.
to wait for a new class to start. You can step in at any time.
That's great. That's really convenient for people.
Yeah. And I would love to be able to list right now where all of our Tai Chi classes are, but we have so many
Yeah.
that I can't ever remember them all. So that's another instance. Call the helpline, tell them you want information on Tai Chi, and they will connect you with me, and we'll get you the information.
Perfect. Perfect. That's terrific information.
Yeah.
So is that, you have to forgive me. Sometimes I get confused between Tai Chi and Matter of Balance.
Mm-hmm. So Matter of Balance is a brand new program that we're offering. It's not an exercise program. It's more of an educational program. It's actually taught like a class. There are components of exercise to it, but it's not an exercise class. It really teaches you how to not fall, how to set up your house, different precautions to take, different helpful hints. But then, should you fall, it teaches you what to do after you fall. It teaches you how to get up. It teaches you how to like check your body. It teaches you who you should contact depending on how you feel after you fall. Do you need to go to the emergency room? Do you need to see your doctor? Do you need to call your kids? Do you need to call the neighbor? There's just tons of really good information in this program. Some people come into it and they're disappointed because they think it's an exercise class.
Well, it's good to know the distinction.
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you.
a little bit of exercise we show you, but it's not an exercise class. So ideally you'd take Matter of Balance and Tai Chi.
Yeah. Do both.
Yeah.
Well, I have a very funny testimonial of why you should take the Matter of Balance.
Oh, no.
This past winter, I finally decided it's okay for me to order a pizza for myself. So I did. And I said, when you come down my driveway, don't get out of the car and try to get to the door because the plowman has made like a mountain between me and the driveway. So just, I'll see you come and I'll come out and retrieve it. Beautiful. I pick up the pizza. I turn around. I go back up my deck and I miss the top step.
Oh.
I went down like a ton of bricks and I flung the pizza like a Frisbee.
Bummer.
I was, number one, though, I wasn't hurt.
Good.
And the pizza box only had 1 teaspoon of snow in it.
Oh, good.
So I don't know how I managed to survive that, but I must have inherently, channeled Matter of Balance and Tai Chi all into one. Nothing happened to me. I was fine. So I'm not going to press my luck. I think I should look into some of these classes.
Yeah. Or some cleats for the bottom of your shoes.
or just, you know, like, how about this? Look where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, these little accidents can happen to everybody. And, you know, it depends how you go down or what you hit.
Yep.
And people need to be careful because
Mhm.
as we age, you know, we don't bounce as well. So
I don't bounce very well either, you know, like none of us want to fall.
these are really good classes and good things to learn.
Yeah.
So let's go into another interesting area. How about the home meds program?
Oh yeah, home meds. Home meds is phenomenal. I think I say that about all the programs I get to work with.
Well, they are phenomenal, all of
They
them.
are, yeah. And you know, I didn't know that this stuff existed until I got to work here. So it's pretty great. And that we offer it all for free, you know?
That's like the second most fabulous thing that we need to tell people.
I know. Yeah, this is anybody can call. If you're 60 or better, you can call and have this home meds screening done. So home meds is we have a nurse on staff. Her name is Anne, and she will come to your house. She'll call first and ask you to gather all your medications, all your over-the-counter stuff, allergies, cold, flu, vitamins, echinacea, any pill that you're taking that you're hoping
Sure.
is going to make something feel better. So get all that together, and then she comes to your house and she catalogs all of it. You know, every pill, what it's for, the milligrams of it. She catalogs it all, and then she enters it into this computer program that we have, and that sends a report to a pharmacist that we work with for the home meds program. A pharmacist reviews and looks for any possible, I always say the wrong word, I always say cross-contamination or
But
co-occurring.
they could interact.
Yeah,
There's interactions, chemical interactions.
exactly.
And
Yes.
it happens inside our body. We don't know what's going on.
No. And that, like, that's something I never thought of, you know, until Anne and I talk about this. Like, we have people who fall, people who have vertigo, people who have even a diagnosis of some kind of dementia or irritable bowel or something like that. And it turns out that it's their medication. It turns out that they're taking an allergy medicine with a heart medicine that is making them, giving them symptoms like they have dementia.
Right. They can get dizzy. They could black out. You know, if you black out and you're halfway down a flight of stairs, that's a killer.
Right.
And if you can avoid that by having your meds screened so that there is no dangerous interaction going on, you're like that much better.
Right. Yeah. And so then after she gets this report back from the pharmacist, she comes back to your house and she goes over the report with you. And then she doesn't have to, but she can create something that's called a pill map. And it's this little folder, and there's a little bubble where you can put each pill that you take. And she'll do this for you. She'll put it all in there. And then next to it, she'll write what it is, how many milligrams it is, what it's for, of everything that you take.
Nice.
And then you have this. So when you go to the doctor and the doctor says, okay, so what medications are you on? You're not like, oh, I have no idea. You know, you just say,
You're like, well, there's a pink one,
yeah.
and then there's a bigger light blue one. Yeah. How does that help? But that's the way we talk. That's the way we respond to our doctors.
Yep. So you give that to your doctor and they're thrilled because they know that that information is accurate. And also it is suggested that you keep the pill map like magnetized to like your refrigerator or something. Should anything happen to you and emergency services have to come or something, they'll see it and they'll know what it is.
That's brilliant, because once you're loaded into the ambulance and you probably can't talk at that point, that's tough for them to know what possibly is going on inside of you.
Yeah. And it's
Good.
got emergency contact information on it. It's got your doctor's information on it. So it's just, it's a really great piece of information for everybody to have. So,
Oh,
um,
by the way, you're right. I don't take much medication, but I just met my doctor at a meeting, a conscious eldering meeting, found out she just retired.
oh yeah,
Oh, good to know, huh?
yeah.
So this happens to many, many people as they age.
Hmm.
You know, their doctors are aging too. So the
Hmm.
doctor you used 4 years ago when you got that first prescription may not be in practice anymore.
Hmm.
So who's going to know? Because not every pharmacy keeps all the records, and you go to different doctors, you go to different pharmacies, you travel, you get stuff filled. Having what you just talked about, what did you call the folder?
The pill map.
The pill map. Having that pill map really helps everybody, but particularly all of us.
Yeah, yeah,
That's terrific.
yeah. It's a pretty great thing. And what Anne has found lately is that people are getting these really great little bubble packs of pills where like your whole like morning pills come in a pack and your afternoon pills come in a pack and your evening pills come in a
Huh.
pack, and they come in a big roll, so you don't have to take them all out of the bottles, which are great. But if you change one prescription,
Oh,
they reissue
oh
all of
no.
these. So what she has found is sometimes she goes into somebody's house and they've got these rolls of pills from 2 or 3 or 4 months ago. Their pills have changed since, and they're confused about which one they should be taking. So she can also get rid of that stuff. So she
Yes.
has all the tools to safely get rid of, narcotics, of any bumblebee, of anything that you need to get rid of.
Sure.
And the
That's
same situation when someone passes away. We need to get those medications that that person was taking out of the house so they don't get mixed up with
right. You know, you're
other
so
things.
right. That is a big consideration because so many people, I mean, pretty much all of us, say we had, say you had migraine headaches last year and you had all these pills and they really helped. Well,
Mhm,
you're better, you don't feel it anymore, but you kept that pill bottle.
mhm.
And now, excuse me, now, now you get a headache.
Mhm.
Those were great pills. I'm going to take one. But in the meantime, like you said, you could be on heart medication. You could have all kinds of, herbal remedies that you're taking, and those go in your body so they count. And you
Yeah,
reach for that migraine tablet, you could be doing serious damage to yourself.
absolutely.
Boy,
Yeah.
so it's wonderful that this home meds program is absolutely a lifesaver.
Yeah. So, and I encourage like, um, think about your parents. If your parents might have this, call for your parents, call the
Mhm.
helpline for your parents, and talk with them about this and set up this appointment for them. You can do that too. So, and it's free. It's free. Like, why not? Poor Anne, she's going to be like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
have so many
we'll never
calls.
see Anne for the next 3 months. She'll be in her car visiting people endlessly. But
Exactly.
she has great energy.
She does, and she loves to do this. She has,
And
yeah, so much passion for it.
she does, and she has a laser focus
Mhm.
and she knows a lot. So whoever gets Anne to visit them is one lucky person.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, Before we go into other things, because we've already been on for 45 minutes and it seems like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully out there, you guys are learning a lot from Wendi.
I hope.
Maybe you'd like to dip into your arts program quickly before we run out of time.
Yeah. So we've started, there's this movement, especially in Vermont, around the health benefits to art. So we got Senior Solutions, the Meals on Wheels program, got an anonymous donation. And this person came to us and said, hey, I've got some money I want to give you. What would you do with it? Isn't that like a dream
Wow.
question?
Gee, let's think.
Yeah. So I was like, arts program, arts program. So, and I mean, for me, this comes from, sometimes you have like something in your life that had such a profound effect on you that you want to share it with everybody because you think it's just going to help everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So arts is what worked for me. So I want everybody to try something artsy. So we've just started. This is, it's a what we call pilot program. It's the first time we've tried it. But so right now we are running an 8-week watercolor class, and we're doing that at a housing complex here in Springfield. And it's this grant money gave us the ability to create these art kits for people that aren't just for a project. They're like, okay, you have enough stuff here to take this class for 8 weeks and then to continue to practice this new skill for, years beyond.
Right.
So you don't just get like 2 pieces of paper, you get like a whole book of paper and different kinds of paper, and it's quality, good stuff. And it feels really good to be able to give that to people. So, and it's really about, for me during COVID, if I hadn't have had my artsy stuff, I probably would have gone crazy. And I think about people who are isolated and are stuck at home for some reason, and how much art could help them. I know it's not for everybody, but just the ability to engross yourself in something, and the time just goes by and you're in your head, and it's easier to think happy thoughts when you're doing something happy instead of dwelling on what might be not
That's
happy.
true. You know what, you're right about a lot of this. And I think it's also wonderful to give people the opportunity to explore their creativity and to allow themselves to express their feelings and to express what's in their hearts. And there's, I look at, art and music as two of the great therapies in life, because having permission to relay your feelings onto paper or onto an instrument is somehow empowering and rewarding and very fulfilling. And I think it's wonderful that you've brought that to the community, and I hope it grows.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing watercolor. We've got a mixed media class planned. We have a jewelry making class planned. We have a Zentangle class planned, which is a meditative type of drawing. We have an acrylic painting class planned. I don't have any music or singing classes yet. So that is something that if anybody out there wants to become a teaching artist, call the helpline and ask to talk to Wendi.
There you go.
We'll get you hooked up.
Wendi, you better get 2 telephones. You're going to be on the phone like this.
Yeah. As long as it's about arts and food and exercise, I'm good.
Yeah, what could be wrong? What could be bad, right? Well, I'm really excited about your arts program, and I'm so happy that you're able to get a grant to help make it happen.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Now, we also have 2 more different kind of programs. One is our Pearls program, and one is the NCOA Benefits Enrollment Center. You think we can briefly touch on those 2? Are you okay? Can you hold up?
We have like 5 minutes, right?
Okay, we'll speed talk.
I know. Can I talk faster than I've already been talking?
I won't interrupt.
Okay. So Pearls is a program for folks 60 or better, of course, who might be experiencing some kind of mild depression, generally situational depression. It's a really good program. Sometimes when we get stuck in that rut, we just need a little boost or a little incentive to to get out of it, and you
Sure.
kind of need that person to like push you through. So that's kind of what Pearls does. So Anne, our nurse, does this program as well, and I hear her often calling herself a tour guide. So she is a tour guide through this Pearls program, and it's a structured program. Each kind of step builds on the next. It's not an ongoing forever thing. I think it's an 8-session program. And she comes and meets with you for an hour a week for about 8 weeks. Sometimes it's like every other week. It spaces out as it gets longer. And she helps you identify what your problems are. She helps you identify things that bring you pleasure, and she helps kind of push you towards working through those things,
Sure.
working through the problem, but then having the pleasure on the other side. So you're
Yeah.
like maybe rewarding yourself for, working through something hard. And she's knowledgeable. So she's not going to tell you what to do, but she's going to ask you the questions to kind of help you think it through. It's not a counseling program. It's not like a talk therapy kind of thing. It's there's a lesson, and then you do homework, and she comes back the next week, and there's another lesson, and you do homework.
Yeah, it's like skill building, I guess.
Yeah.
How to focus on positive things and how to address issues.
Yep.
Without becoming stuck in the mud.
Right.
So, and I think if I recall, back when I was, trying to learn about Pearls, if the person really seems to be more depressed, don't we refer them to professionals?
Yep. We have a screening tool that, is a worldwide screening tool for depression. And you get a score, and if you score over a certain point, we're gonna get you the help that you need.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So people know that we're not the last step in this. If they have larger problems, we will refer them to psychological counselors and so forth. Great. How about NCOA?
So NCOA is, we've had this grant for 3 years, I think, or we're going into our 3rd year. NCOA, it's the National Council on Aging. So it's the NCOA BEC. Don't you love acronyms?
Yeah, Benefit Enrollment Center.
Right. National Council on Aging's Benefit Enrollment Center. Yes. So we help anybody who is on Medicare fill out applications or find programs that can help them. I know Tracy, who runs this program, she often refers to it as, if it's a program that can save you money, we can help you apply for it.
Good.
So kind of like free squares, you call us, and we have experts who know how to fill out these applications and not have it take a month to fill out an application. We know how to do it. And we know how to find the programs
that's right, because you're right. We just were talking, what was it, 6 months ago or something. Most of us didn't realize the scope of the benefits that are available through the National Council on Aging. So I think they had just started a Boost Your Budget campaign when COVID hit.
Yep.
So that kind of like dribbled away. But basically that's the program. Like you said, if there's ways that somebody on Medicare can save money, do it. Call us up. If you're on Medicare, call us.
And it's not, it is to save money, but as part of that, like learning all these different things that are out there, there are amazing programs to take classes, to travel. It doesn't have to be all like financially needs based. We have to take care of ourselves too, and travel and education, and those things are other things that have applications that we can help you apply for. So
that's right. There are a lot of ways to be supported.
Yeah, it's
brilliant.
Yeah, and there's a great screening tool on the National Council on Aging's website, where you can just anonymously go through this tool and answer all their questions. And it will at the end spit out a list of all the things that you may qualify for that would be helpful to you. And that's what Tracy does. If you call Tracy and say, will you help me figure out this benefit thing, she will go to that website and fill out that with you, look at everything that you could qualify for, and then help you apply for the ones you want to apply.
That's a terrific program. And you know, Tracy is really good at that.
Yeah, she just loves talking with people, and you know, she'll come to your house if she needs to. She has office hours in Springfield. She's going to be working starting in probably November. She's going to have office hours in all 6 senior centers in our county.
That's crucial. That's amazing.
Yeah, it'll help her to get face to face with people, I think. So we're really looking forward to getting that going.
Yeah, so as soon as that happens, we'll have to put the word out and also encourage people to call their local senior center and find out when the NCOA advisor will be at their location.
Yeah. And that's it too, you know, like we're here and we're talking about all these benefits that you might need if you're not well, but like senior centers have such amazing programs. Like, you know, we do Tai Chi and whatever, but they have like contact your senior center.
Well, I remember today we got the email from the Thompson Center in Woodstock. They've got all kinds of fascinating programs, presentations, classes, you name it. So if you live up in the Woodstock area, call the Thompson Center, because it's amazing what they're going to be providing to the public.
Yeah.
For the coming months.
I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say all the senior centers in our region, Windsor-Windham counties, are open right now. They may have, they may be doing fewer events, but they're all open. So, so call them. Yeah, great stuff.
If you don't call, you're going to be missing a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Good
the
point.
Springfield Senior Center has this cribbage tournament going on now. And I tell you, they get pretty feisty. It's a sport for them, let me tell you.
Very competitive, huh?
Definitely.
Oh boy. All right. I think that's a wonderful note to end on.
Good.
And Wendi, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. You've been a fabulous guest.
Well, thanks.
And I have a feeling that you have motivated quite a few people out in our listening area and beyond to, you know, do all kinds of artistic, healthy, and engaging things. So I want to make sure I thank you, and also let you know, this very often, these programs don't just go to Windsor and Windham County. We've had responses from people in Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
Because this goes into YouTube and people can access this all over the world. So these things you're talking about can have huge impact. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you.